Good evening and welcome to the News Tonight, the show that gets you the day's top developing stories from India and across the world. I'm Tracy Shilshi and let's take you straight to the headlines. Political heat mounts in Bihar ahead of the Assembly Trust vote tomorrow. The BJP issues whip to MLAs to vote for Manjhi hours after Speaker awards the Leader of Opposition status to the JDU. Impatience creeping in among businessmen, says HDFC boss Deepak Parekh, expresses apprehension over Modi government's economic policies. Opposition demands answers. Prime Minister Modi launches the centrally sponsored Soil Health Card scheme in Rajasthan to benefit 14 crore farmers across the country to help improve productivity. And Ukraine calls for UN peacekeepers to keep the fragile ceasefire in the country in place. Truce shows signs of giving away in many places. Our big focus tonight on Bihar, where preparations are on for the trust vote in Assembly tomorrow. Openly backing Chief Minister Manjhi, the BJP has issued a whip to all its MLAs to be present. This came hours after the Patna High Court barred 4 JDU MLAs from voting. Meanwhile, the Speaker also overruled the BJP to give the Leader of Opposition status to the JDU.
The battle lines are becoming sharper in Bihar. All indications suggest that the BJP will support Chief Minister Jitan Ram Manjhi in the floor test on Friday.
नीतीश कुमार जी तो केवल सत्ता के स्वार्थ में एक महादलित को अपमानित करने का काम किया है। कल हम लोगों ने विधायक दल की बैठक की थी। हम लोगों ने विधायकों से जमीनी फीडबैक लिया है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के आम विधायकों की राय थी जितन राम मांझी जी को समर्थन करना चाहिए।
The BJP also questioned the Speaker's decision to grant Leader of Opposition status to the JDU.
तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी चाहेगी कि कल सदन के अंदर गुप्त मतदान के द्वारा और बहुमत ये विश्वास मत के प्रस्ताव का फैसला होना चाहिए। हम एक महादलित के पक्ष में खड़े हैं, समाज के सबसे कमजोर तबके के व्यक्ति के हम पक्ष में खड़े हैं और कल सदन के अंदर जब मतदान होगा, अगर मतदान की आवश्यकता पड़ेगी तो हम विश्वास मत के पक्ष में और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सभी विधायक जो हैं और मतदान करेंगे।
The BJP strategy seems to be decided. It is not keen to see Manjhi to win the trust vote in any case, given that faces accusations of poor governance and routinely makes controversial statements. But by backing him in an election year, the BJP could get itself political mileage by being seen to back a Mahadalit who belongs to one of the most underprivileged caste in Bihar.
अपने विधायकों को जरूर आप समझाने का प्रयास कीजिए कि जब गरीबों की बात हो रही है और गरीबों की संख्या 80% है, तो आप मंत्री बनने के लिए अगर जाना चाहते हैं तो जीतन मांझी के पास भी मंत्री का बहुत सा पद है, आइए हम मंत्री बना देंगे।
The JDU is of course blaming BJP for engineering the political crisis in the state.
दिल्ली की लिखी हुई स्क्रिप्ट को ही बिहार भाजपा इंप्लीमेंट कर रही है। सब श्री अमित शाह के इशारे पर हो रहा है।
In the 243-member Bihar Assembly with an effective strength of 233, JDU has 110 MLAs including the Speaker. One attached member is Chief Minister Jitan Ram Manjhi. BJP has 87, RJD has 24, Congress 5, CPI 1, Independent 5, while 10 seats are vacant. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
So what is it going to be tomorrow? It's going to be quite a politically hectic day in Bihar. We've got JP Yadav, the special correspondent with Telegraph, joining us in studio this evening. Thanks so much for joining us here, JP. Give us a sense, really, at this point of time, what must be going on in Nitish Kumar's camp at this point. He's going to hold on to those MLAs tight, isn't it, tonight?
It appears Bihar political match is getting more interesting than the India-Pakistan cricket match. So it's everything will be played out tomorrow, and throughout the night there will be a lot of action here and there. Behind the curtains and all that, movements will be there. Basically, you see, Bihar is in election mode now. Both sides are, whatever actions they are doing with election in mind.
Yes.
There is no case of governance now. A government, whatever government comes, it is in election mode, and the campaigning for the election has started. The BJP was playing from behind the scenes so long, but it has come out in the open and supported. So they want to take political mileage of this situation. The BJP generally has been identified with the upper caste and the well-to-do people in Bihar, the landed people. So now they are trying to make inroads by supporting this Mahadalit and accusing Nitish of being insulting a Dalit, Dalit among Dalits. So everything is a politically driven game now, and
Yes.
one has to watch keenly watch tomorrow what happens. There could be a lot of ruckus in the assembly. There could be a lot of unconstitutional things. And it's a very bad political mess Bihar finds itself now.
Absolutely. But then, looking at the numbers, looking at how things have played out so far, looking at, of course, the strength that Nitish Kumar holds, but at the same time, Manjhi getting the support and the backing of the BJP, what does it look like? Anything that's a given that we can perhaps see after all that political mess, at the end of the day, anything that we can see coming out eventually?
Eventually, see, as per my information, Manjhi still doesn't command the kind of strength he needs combined with the BJP support to pass a floor test. And that you saw in your report itself, Manjhi openly making a call to MLAs ki if you want to become ministers, come to me.
Yes.
I'll make you ministers.
Yeah.
So there is definitely a shortage. He doesn't have the numbers. So throughout the night, lot of people are there. One RJD MP has broken away. He's known. He has a big figure in Bihar, known for other reasons, and then politics also. Pappu Yadav, and then there is one JDU, former JDU MP who broke off with Nitish Kumar and tried to go closer to the BJP. Sabir Ali, I am told, they are trying to get the numbers and all that. So it will be a very murky political game through the night. It will continue, and tomorrow it will play out. It's difficult to gauge, but my hunch is Manjhi will still fail to get the numbers, and he can only get if the BJP actively participates in it and promises that the people who cross over, they'll get tickets, or the BJP will protect their interests, because without, they alone cannot go. They have to have an alliance or arrangement with the BJP.
In all of this, JP, give us a sense of what the BJP, the role of the BJP, how crucial is it in this point?
See, without the BJP, Manjhi is nowhere, because he knows he doesn't command the support of the majority in the JDU. So BJP's role becomes important, because then only with other people can think of crossing over. People who are sitting on the fences, they are unable to decide. So lot of other issues, issues will play out, but the BJP's role is very important, because the BJP is also preparing for elections.
Yes.
After they want to, Bihar is a crucial state in the Hindi heartland.
Absolutely.
And for them to come to power is very important. So they will try all tricks. They will try to get all kind of political mileage and put Nitish in a bad light. The way he is insulting a Dalit, they are alleging. And Nitish Kumar is obviously in a bad spot.
Absolutely. The caste card they're playing out, at least for the BJP, we'll have to see, of course, whether it goes in favor of them or not. But thanks so much, JP Yadav, for joining us and giving us a sense of the situation there in Bihar. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting day. Do keep watching Rajya Sabha TV for all the updates on that. Meanwhile, getting on with the news, let's get you the news of Israel's defense minister, who is in India, with a focus on pitching sales of Israeli arms during the ongoing Aero India show in Bengaluru. Moshe Yaalon met Prime Minister Modi and held talks on regional and bilateral issues. And with Israel being India's largest arms supplier after Russia, the visit is seen as symbolic of deepening India-Israel defense trade ties.
An increasingly close commercial and political relationship that has taken greater shape over the last 9 months of the Modi government. Israel looks to boost trade in India in response to potential trade sanctions in Europe. India is keen to buy cutting-edge Israeli arms and access new technology for its armed forces. India is among Israel's biggest customers for unarmed drones. Under Modi, Israel and India have pushed ahead with the joint development of an aerial defense system. In October, India opted to buy Rafale Spike anti-tank guided missile in a deal worth $525 million, choosing the Israeli product over a US offer of its Javelin missiles. There's a large Israeli contingent led by Yaalon at the ongoing Aero India aviation show at Bengaluru. Israeli companies cite freedom from international traffic in arms regulations, ITAR, that is a hurdle in India's arms trade with the US, and they look for a springboard from there.
We have few very nice, promising projects in India. Some of them we managed to get directly with Indian companies, some of them through Israeli bigger companies. And we see that India is a nice growing market, not only in military, also in industry, and we want to be part of it.
New Delhi is now the largest buyer of Israeli military equipment, while Israel is India's largest customer after Russia. A rise in FDI limits in defence opens up new doors in the trade relationship. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, the first rumblings are being heard in the Indian industry against the government on its not doing enough on the ground to implement its high-pitched economic reforms agenda. HDFC Chairman Deepak Parekh said there's little happening to ease procedures for doing business in India, which could affect the government's ambitious Make in India program.
Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra
It's the first real jibe at Prime Minister Modi's ambitious Make in India program, and the fact that it comes from leading industrialist Deepak Parekh makes it vitriolic enough. In the latest interview to PTI, Parekh said, and I quote, "After 9 months, there is impatience creeping in as to why no changes are happening and why this is taking so long having effect on the ground. The optimism is there, but is not translating into revenues." The criticism comes as much needed ammunition for the opposition, an added weapon after the BJP's drubbing in the Delhi elections.
It's ironical that the corporate cheerleaders of this government have already started groaning and moaning and carping about the policy paralysis in the government.
बयान बहादुर नेता हैं, बयान बहादुर प्रधानमंत्री हैं। अगर इनका बस चले तो ये देश में आंकड़ों में खेती करके दिखा दे। इनकी सरकार बनने के 9 महीने बाद उद्योग के अंदर भी बड़ी सुस्ती आई है, विदेशी निवेश घटा है, रोजगार के अवसर घटे हैं।
The BJP rejects the idea, saying the Prime Minister has enough to show in terms of real achievements.
With all due respect to Mr. Deepak Parekh, I would state that during this short period of Mr. Modi's regime, the central government that we have seen a change in the growth rate of India. Growth has improved. We have seen that the inflation, which was in double digits previously, has come down, has been contained.
HDFC Chairman Deepak Parekh has a reputation for being vocal with his views on reforms and policy measures undertaken by various governments. He was among the first to attack the UPA for alleged policy paralysis after a spate of corruption scandals. Parekh cites low global commodity prices and other factors that have aided the present government and stresses the need for much more if policy initiatives are to have the desired impact. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
We'll have a quick break here, but still ahead, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is heading for Bangladesh. The Teesta water sharing agreement is likely to be central to the visit.
More autonomy to the Indian Institutes of Information Technology. Bihar to get another central university and the schools of planning and architecture, now at par with the likes of IIMs and IITs.
How do you see the things improving from here on?
I think one of the best provisions of the bill is enhanced autonomy.
Watch Law of the Land, 3 bills on higher education. This Saturday at 6:30 p.m. only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. In more national news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today launched the Soil Health Card scheme at a function in Rajasthan's Suratgarh town. Around 14 crore soil health cards will be issued over the next 3 years to help improve productivity with appropriate use of nutrients. Modi called for focusing attention on the health of soil in agricultural lands to boost productivity and bring prosperity to farmers. He also described agriculture as the key to poverty eradication. Modi also gave the slogan of Swasth Dhara, Khet Hara on the occasion.
मैंने अभी नीति आयोग के तहत सभी राज्यों को अपने अपने राज्य में कृषि के लेके एक हाई पावर कमेटी बनाने के लिए कहा है, एक्सपर्ट कमेटी बनाने के लिए कहा है। नीति आयोग को भी मैंने कहा है कि वो भी एक एक्सपर्ट कमेटी बनाए राज्य अपने राज्य की कृषि समस्याओं को लेकर के हमें हमारे कृषि विकास को परंपरागत कृषि पद्धतियों से बदलना पड़ेगा और इसके लिए वैज्ञानिक तौर तरीकों को अपनाना पड़ेगा.
Relief from the Supreme Court for social activist Teesta Setalvad and her husband Javed Anand. The Gujarat police has been directed to not arrest the couple in the alleged fund embezzlement case in connection to the Gulbarg riots victims museum. The apex court reserved its order and questioned the Gujarat police's need for custodian interrogation. The Supreme Court, however, directed Setalvad and Anand to provide all the details of donors to the Gujarat police.
Hearing the matter for some time, the court has reserved its judgment in the matter, but has made it clear to the government of Gujarat that this is not a case where there needs to be any custodial interrogation and therefore any arrest.
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee will be in Bangladesh for a 3-day visit to strengthen relations between Bangladesh and her state. She will also attend the historical Bhasha Divas Dhaka. The visit is expected to result in a breakthrough in settling the Teesta Water Sharing Pact and approval of the Land Boundary Agreement. Mamata is slated to meet Bangladesh President Abdul Hamid and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, besides holding talks with the Foreign Minister. Significantly, this will also be her first visit to Bangladesh after taking charge as the Chief Minister in May 2011. And with that, more updates coming now from across the country in Nationwide. The indigenously developed nuclear-capable Prithvi-2 surface-to-surface missile was test-fired today from Chandipur in Odisha. With a strike range of 350 kilometers, Prithvi-2 is capable of carrying 500 to 1,000 kilograms of warheads and is propelled by liquid propulsion twin engines. The missile also uses advanced inertial guidance system with maneuvering trajectory. Prithvi-2 is the first missile to have been developed by the DRDO under the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. Bidding continues for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's name-striped suit in Surat in Gujarat. The bidding price is now shot up to 1.41 crore rupees. The Bandgala suit is among 455 gift items the Prime Minister got during his tenure in these 9 months, and it's being auctioned to raise money for the Clean Ganga project. 7 people, including 4 police personnel, were injured when a bomb exploded near a crowded marketplace in Imphal in Manipur. A team of police officials found a bag containing a bomb-like object which exploded within seconds. No individual or group has claimed responsibility for this incident. The tourist resorts of Gulmarg and Pahalgam in Kashmir experienced fresh snowfall today. Meanwhile, other parts of the valley received intermittent rains for 4th consecutive day. The Met Department has said that the cold spell will continue till early next week. Gulmarg received around 3 feet of snowfall, while Pahalgam recorded 4 centimeters of fresh snow during the night. On to the big international story. And Ukraine has called to the UN to deploy its peacekeepers to ensure that the fragile ceasefire in the country holds. This as Germany continued efforts to push for peace in the country, and the US stepped up the blame on Russia for arming rebels. Here's more.
Ukraine's military pulls out troops from strategic town of Debaltseve. This follows a massive assault by pro-Russian rebels who are still violating the ceasefire to seize the railway hub. Over 2,500 Ukrainian soldiers had withdrawn from Debaltseve on Wednesday. At an emergency security meeting on Wednesday, Ukraine's President Petro Poroshenko mailed an appeal to call the UN peacekeepers to enforce the ceasefire, which is on the brink of collapse. The OSCE monitors are still denied access to the border areas.
Після прийняття сьогоднішнього рішення, я сподіваюся, воно сьогодні буде прийнято, ми розпочинаємо офіційну роботу, звернення до наших партнерів, офіційні консультації, які зможуть забезпечити мир.
On the international front, a conflict of opinion persists. Germany says it will work with Russia to enforce peace in Ukraine. The US has warned Russia to stop backing the separatist attacks on border areas.
The Secretary urged Russia to secure access to Debaltseve for OSCE monitors who have been blocked from performing their responsibilities, according to Minsk agreements Russia signed in February and last September.
In violence-hit areas of Ukraine, the locals just suffer on with or without a ceasefire in place. in Debaltseve, claimed to be fully under control of rebels. Residents are left without electricity and water.
Говорили, перемирие, а каждый день стрельба идет. И вот когда они восстановят? Ничего уже нету в Солиорске, полностью разбитый город.
The refusal of rebel groups to even pay lip service to halt the advance at Debaltseve have put West in a predicament. Western powers will have to decide whether to take more steps against Russia for violating the ceasefire or place more emphasis on restoring the crumbling truce. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
US President Barack Obama on Wednesday said that the US is not at war with Islam but with those who have perverted the religion. Obama was addressing the three-day event at the White House on strengthening non-military measures to combat terrorism at the backdrop of the recent attacks in Denmark and France. Representatives from 60 nations attended this event. He went on to say that those heading terrorist outfits like Islamic State and the Al-Qaeda were not religious leaders but terrorists. Obama has asked the Congress formally to authorize military force against the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria.
Terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIL deliberately target their propaganda in the hopes of reaching and brainwashing young Muslims, especially those who may be disillusioned or wrestling with their identity. That's the truth. By violent extremism, we don't just mean the terrorists who are killing innocent people, we also mean the ideologies, the infrastructure of extremists, the propagandists, the recruiters, the funders who radicalize and recruit or incite people to violence.
And now let's get you more international updates in Global Buzz. Swiss authorities launched a search in the British banking giant's HSBC Geneva's office as part of an inquiry in alleged money laundering. The prosecutors opened the probe following allegations that the bank helped clients evade millions of dollars in taxes. The investigation could be extended to people suspected of committing or participating in money laundering. Thailand's former Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra has been indicted for negligence for her role in a controversial rice subsidy scheme. Thailand's Attorney General pressed the criminal charges against the ex-PM in the Supreme Court. If found guilty, she could be jailed for up to 10 years. She was removed by a court in May 2014, shortly before the military ousted her elected government. Thousands of people marched in the Argentinian capital Buenos Aires to mark 1 month since the death of prosecutor Alberto Nisman. The silent march was called by prosecutors demanding a full investigation in the case. Nisman was found dead in his apartment on the 18th of January this year. He was investigating Argentina's deadliest terrorist attack, the 1994 bombing of the Amia Jewish Center. Countries across Asia have begun celebrating the Lunar New Year to welcome the Year of the Sheep. People flock to temples on the first day to pray for good luck. In China, hundreds of millions of people travel home in what is considered the world's biggest annual human migration. This is the longest and most important holiday season in the Chinese calendar. A quick break here. On the other side, our special series on the expectations from the union budget today, and we're focusing on the healthcare sector.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Breakfast News.
Every development worldwide impacts India. What happened overnight matters. Wake up to a complete roundup of world news. Keen analysis to kickstart your day. Watch Breakfast News, weekdays at 8 a.m.
Welcome back. Now, with the union budget around the corner, experts in the health field have expressed that the government will not pay mere lip service to the goal of health for all. They want the upcoming budget to focus on also bringing in taxes, deduction on health insurance and free services to the poor.
To move towards health for all,
two key initiatives, that is the free drug service and free diagnostic service, would be taken up on a priority.
With an annual spending of just 1.4% of GDP on healthcare, the World Health Organization ranks India's healthcare system at a lowly 112 among 190 countries, nowhere near the lofty goal of health for all that the Finance Minister announced in Union Budget 2014-15.
When we say health for all, it would also emphasize on reliable delivery mechanisms of healthcare services, the infrastructure behind it, the resources, the manpower beneath all this. So it's a huge complex program then. It's very, in one single line we would conclude that health for all, but how do we achieve it? Where are the pharmacists? Where are the lab technicians? Where are the X-ray technicians? Where are the nurses? Where are the doctors?
At 35,163 crore rupees, allocation for the health and family welfare sector in the 2014-15 budget marked a hike of 27%, but towards late December, media reports said fiscal strains were forcing the government to cut nearly 20% in its 2014-15 healthcare budget.
All the different insurance schemes like the CGHS, the Employed State Insurance Scheme, the Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana, all of them should be integrated into one scheme so that every citizen gets the same kind of service.
Health professionals feel the government can't afford a shrinking health budget, not only when it puts at risk key disease control initiatives, but also when the country needs a good insurance scheme to make services affordable and accessible.
Government is planning to transfer more money to these states. That is, Finance Commission's share of taxes will increase from 32% to 42%. It will mean that the centrally sponsored programs that are being run, they would be short by 1 lakh crores. At the same time, states will get untied grant of additional 1 lakh crores.
In order to be in line with other developing economies, experts feel healthcare allocation should go up to at least 5% of the GDP. The government wants to launch an ambitious universal healthcare program this year.
Given that China spends 3% GDP and the United States 8.3% on health, experts hope that the government will do better than previous years in setting aside higher allocation for the sector. With camera person Sudipta Das, this is Anshu Jay Singh for Rajya Sabha TV.
In fact, the government kicked off the printing of the budget documents today with the halwa ceremony. It marks the start of a quarantine period till the 28th of February when Finance Minister Arun Jaitley presents his budget. No Finance Ministry official involved with the budget making and printing can go home or have any communication with the outside world from now. The sweet dish is cooked and served to officials associated with printing the secret document in the North Block that houses the Finance Ministry office. On to some sports and in news from the ICC World Cup. Zimbabwe chased their highest World Cup total to record a 4-wicket win over United Arab Emirates in the Pool B match today. Qualifiers UAE were appearing for the first time in the World Cup since 1996. Batting first, they posted their highest ODI score of 285 for 7, with Sheman Anwar top scoring with 67 runs. In reply, Zimbabwe started slowly but continued with persistence to chase down the target with 12 balls to spare. Sean Williams scored in fact a well-constructed 76 and added 83 runs for the 6th wicket with Craig Irwin to lead them to a 4-wicket victory. That's it for this hour. Good night.
Thank you.